At the outset of the protests calling for police reform, Mayor Peduto looked to community leaders for insight and guidance. And today, his task force delivered a report calling for major initiatives to bring about that change. KDKA investigator Andy Sheehan is live now with the details of that report. Andy?
Stacy, the task force impaneled by the mayor 3.5 months ago is calling for sweeping reforms of the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police to better protect and serve its minority communities. Working over these summer months of protests, the mayor's task force called upon the city to seize the moment, using the Black Lives Matter movement as a catalyst for change.
In this moment, we have a tremendous opportunity to radically change how police protect and serve the public. As we know, our current model can be harmful to our black and brown residents.
While black people account for less than a quarter of the city's population, the report notes they are the subject of 44% of all traffic stops and 62% of all stops which resulted in searches and frisking. While the task force said those statistics don't necessarily indicate racial bias, they are cause for concern and reform.
Differential does not necessarily mean discrimination. Differential does not necessarily mean bias. However, we need to have more information to ensure that these are being done in a just manner.
The reforms include more data analysis to determine bias and the beefing up of initiatives already underway. They include de-escalation training to avoid violent outcomes at traffic stops, annual implicit bias training, and community policing and outreach to improve police-community relations. The mayor also joined the committee in calling for stricter discipline for officers who engage in brutality.
This is not anti-police. This is anti-police brutality.
The task force also zeroed in on the police handling of the recent protests, calling on the police bureau to significantly curtail the use of tear gas, pepper spray, and beanbag projectiles to disperse crowds. And Peduto addressed the young protesters who have called for overall reform.
Is our youth, the voices that we hear on the streets. You are being listened to. Your words are incorporated into this.
Now, I reached out to Police Union President Bob Swartzwelder, who referred all comments to Chief Scott Schubert. Scott Schubert, in turn, said that he is reviewing all these recommendations, but he has agreed to meet with members of the task force to see how some of these recommendations might be implemented. Stacy?
Andy, around the country there have been calls for the police departments to be defunded. Did this task force go that far?
No, it doesn't go that far, but it does recommend what the mayor has put in place, which is he is going to be hiring social workers to take some of the duties of police. This is how to sort of unburden the police and to better deal with populations like homeless, addicted, and the mentally ill.
Andy Sheehan reporting live. Thank you.